So we're here today with William Wornardt from LegalShield, coming to you from the worldwide headquarters of Network Connection, Scott Talley. We're going to jump right in. William, tell us a little bit about your background before we get into LegalShield.
You bet, Scott. First of all, just want to say thanks for having me here today. Basically, did the standard, went to college, wanted to get a good job, good education, and then get out in the real world and do all that. I finished up school as a geologist. Then I decided I wanted to continue on my sporting career, so I finished up college baseball and then toured the world playing rugby. And all that time I was an entrepreneur and came back from that. Was in the oil industry for about 10 years, and then I found LegalShield about 14 years ago as a member and started my LegalShield franchise 10 years ago.
Awesome. So I happen to be a LegalShield client as well, so I'm a little bit familiar with it. But tell our audience today basically about the premise behind LegalShield.
You bet. I appreciate it, Scott. So 48 years ago, a gentleman by the name of Harlan Stonecipher was in a car accident. And it wasn't his fault, but he ended up losing his life savings trying to defend himself. And he said, hey, this is not right. This isn't the way America should work. People should have access to attorneys. And so he started back in the day, prepaid legal, and then eventually became LegalShield. And so our whole premise is pretty simple, and that is that everyday Americans just don't have access to attorneys. And that barrier, well, it sits behind what? Why can't they have access to attorneys? Because of the cost. Average is $300 an hour, $5 a minute. Who has that kind of money? I don't have $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 sitting around waiting to pay a retainer fee for an attorney. So LegalShield is now 48 years young, and we have over 7,000 attorneys. We pay those attorneys $150 million a year, and every state has its own law firm. Here in Texas, we have Ross and Matthews, been with us for over 31 years. We pay them a staggering $1.5 million a month.
Wow.
To protect our 400,000 members that we have here in Texas.
Awesome. So basically, it's a membership program. Is that right? I pay a monthly fee to become a part of LegalShield, and then if I have any kind of legal matter at all, I just turn that information over to the Dallas office. I may not even visit with them. I might do that via fax or email or send the documents over, and they'll start to take it from there, right?
Exactly. It's a membership-based program, and so, again, everyday Americans can pay in a small amount of money. We have over 5 million members in the United States. With them paying in a small amount of money, that goes in and pays LegalShield, and LegalShield then pays the attorneys. One of the little nuances to this is you ever talk to an attorney, one of the toughest things they ever have to do is get paid. And so attorneys love to work with us because they know they're going to get paid. And we have a whole series of services which I can break down for you. We are not a silver bullet, and I like to always make sure everybody knows that. We don't handle all legal services. In the membership, we do have a catch-all with our 25% discount. But we have a whole series of services that help everyday folks with real legal matters that happen most currently with them, and we're there to help them.
And the program works whether you're an individual consumer or a small business. Am I right?
That is correct. We have several different facets of LegalShield. We have an individual plan. We have legal family plan. We have our IDShield program for families and for individuals. We have law enforcement. I specialize in the small biz and group arena. We like to say most small businesses, their owners, they make decisions every day, and are they checking with an attorney? And if a small business owner could pick up the phone and talk to an attorney and not have it cost them very much, would that be a good deal? And with the LegalShield membership, the small business membership, that's what small business owners can do. They make better decisions. They pick up the phone and talk to those attorneys and get real legal help. And then the main thing I specialize in is group benefits. So you have like Aflac and Colonial Life, where we have LegalShield and IDShield that we offer as a voluntary benefit to over 146,000 businesses across the United States.
Well, yeah, I know the first time I probably went 4, 5, 6 months without needing my LegalShield membership, and then my representative just happened to mention when he heard me say that some guy owed me some money, he said, well, turn that into the law firm.
Yeah.
And I hadn't thought about it. I did, and they were very successful very quickly,
Yeah.
making sure that other business knew that it didn't pay up. It was going to be on their credit report, and we collected our funds. So
Yeah, and we work really hard. It's just fantastic. We're getting ready to go to our annual international convention, and basically about 180 attorneys come out, and you should see how much appreciated they are, but the 12,000 folks that are there appreciating all the work they do, and they work very hard at that and servicing all of our members. And it's really fulfilling.
That's awesome. So tell me a little bit about networking. You've been doing some networking to help build your business as well.
I have been networking now almost 20 years. Started off in the mortgage business for a little bit and found LegalShield. And so I work in 3 or 4 different networks. Network in Action is my premium networking avenue. And working with Moose and the great folks over here in the Galleria, Network in Action has been phenomenal. And I really like having access to business owners. Some of your tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 networks really don't have access to those folks. You have a lot of folks that are just getting started in business and so forth. And that's great because everybody's got to start somewhere. Sure. But I like having access to, if you will, a higher echelon clientele that are more business orientated, business owner orientated. They'll have employees and a little bit more in my wheelhouse. And being a specialist working business to business, I find that that's very helpful, and that's why it's been great so far working with Moose and the team over here.
Yeah, take another minute and talk about your wheelhouse. I mean, so you're looking for business owners who have a number of employees, or exactly any certain industries, or?
Yeah, exactly. We like to work with businesses that have basically employees 5 to 25 to 30, because we can get direct access to the business owner and they can make decisions. Of course, we do work with companies that have 2, 3, 4, 500. I have one account that has 2,000 employees. And so we expand out into that. But those are a little bit more difficult to kind of get into and work with because there's so many more decisions that have to be made. Right. But we find that the small business and the small business group environment really can help employees. And that's one of the reasons HR directors love having us come in. Many employees might have a legal situation, and that can create absenteeism, presenteeism. It can also create stress. And we also find that in this day and age, people need to hang on to, companies need to hang on to their employees by offering a higher quality of voluntary benefit, like LegalShield and IDShield. We're finding that the employees appreciate that, because the company shows that, hey, we do care about you and we want to offer you even more services. And we want you to stay here and be with us and stay within the team.
So oftentimes, as I understand, it's initiated by the employer, but actually the employee's paying for it, so it just really sort of becomes a free benefit of working at the company.
Exactly. It is a voluntary benefit. It is post-tax, and it can be offered anytime during the year. And there is absolutely no cost to the actual company. It's a voluntary benefit, so the employees go ahead and have it payroll deducted out of their check biweekly, and they get full benefit from there.
That's fantastic. One of the things I like to do before we end up here today is any tips for some of the newer business owners who are out there that might need a tip or two on networking. What would you tell them?
I think the main thing is to get out into a networking group and just initiate that. You've got to take that first step. And most networking groups are very open, open and embracing of new business owners. And it might be a little nervy at the beginning, but just like anything else, you want to expand your business. And I have a philosophy: if you're not growing, you're dying. Mm-hmm. So if you want to grow, you should really get out into the community and get into some networking groups, and you'll be very well received. And I think you'll learn a little bit more about your business too.
Yeah, it's interesting. Those are great tips, and I always am amazed when people show up at a networking event and they think it's an opportunity to sell.
Right.
And obviously, as an experienced networker, you recognize that it's an opportunity to help somebody, and the sales will follow if you do that.
Yeah, exactly. The main philosophy is just, if you go and if you help enough people be successful, you'll be successful. And if you just, if you're there, you let people know about your services, and as they get to know, like, and trust you, they're going to do more business with you.
That's right.
So once that happens and they can kind of let down the barriers on who they are and what they do, and you work with them and understand what they do, that natural relationship will grow, and then out of that will come referrals. And if you're really successful, then you start getting into tier 2 and tier 3, tier 4 referrals. So I have an example, garage door company that I work with. He has now referred me to his entire family in California.
Oh, wow.
So the whole family now has LegalShield, but that starts, it just started over here in Katy, Texas, and that led into quite a bit of other business.
Yeah.
So, and one other thing I just want to mention real quick is IDShield It's our sister brand, and identity theft is the #1 crime in America, and most people just don't know what to do if they get hit by identity theft. There's many other companies that offer programs. I heard even the other day AAA has identity theft protection, and banks have identity theft protection. But the IDShield program is by far the best program. It is underwritten by our sister company, Kroll Advisory Solutions. They're NASDAQ traded, and they've been around for over 40 years. And they are the #1 risk management company in the world, and they have an incredible program that we utilize with IDShield, and it just basically features full restoration. The other companies say they do things, but in actuality, all they ever really do is monitor. We monitor everything that matters most to you, and then we go to work for you. And that's another reason that companies love to have us in, because the employees, if they get hit with identity theft, they go back to work. They come back to work, we go to work for them.
And is that a different or a separate offering from LegalShield?
It is. It's
So an employee could choose one and not the other, or both?
absolutely, it's kind of a buffet.
Got you.
Some people just, hey, well, I'm not really worried about identity theft right now, and so they'll just have the legal. But most employees, because it's so affordable, that they will go ahead and pick up the legal and the identity theft program just to make sure. We kind of call it the 1-2 punch. If you get hit with identity theft, that's wonderful. You have IDShield that will restore your life, but you may need an attorney, and that's where the LegalShield can kick in. So.
Awesome. Well, we've been blessed to have William Wornardt with us today of LegalShield. We thank you for coming in.
Thank
Look
you.
forward to talking to you again. Thanks,
Yeah,
William.
yeah, Scott, man, really appreciate it.